Hello degenerates, my name is Mr. Penfold, and I'm a huge fan of the show called Helluva Boss. Now, for the people who have not heard of this show, it's a show created by the YouTube channel Vivziepop, who first started making out a show called Has Been Hotel, but we haven't got anything to do with that since the pilot dropped and since this music video dropped. Now, quick disclaimer, spoiler for the pilots and all the way up to episode 6, I'm going to be doing a short rundown of each episode and giving my thoughts on each one. Am I going to say some parts of the show are bad? Yes, as much as I hate to say it, the show's not perfect, no show is. Also, why don't you comment down below which character is your favorite, and if you watch the entire video, you might find out who mine is. Anyway, now that's out of the way, make sure to like and sub.
Would you just get on with it already? Nobody here wants to hear about that dumb shit.
Okay. The Helluva Boss pilot. Ah, yes, the pilot. You can't make a show without the pilot. What's a pilot, you say? A pilot is basically a test run for shows to see what they need to change or fix. For example, in the Helluva Boss pilot, Millie sounds like this.
Calm down, Mox. You're gonna have another panic attack.
But in the show, she now sounds like this.
The prince is our boss's boyfriend.
Personally, I prefer her voice from the pilot, but oh well. The pilot dropped on November 25th, 2019 on the Vivziepop channel. The pilot episode of the show first introduced us to the characters and the location being Hell, and the characters being Blitzo, who is voiced by Brandon Rogers. No, not him. Yeah, there we go, him. Brandon Rogers, who made such popular videos as A Day at the Park.
You're having a dandy picnic with my roommate, Donna. You need more Coke. We packed Pepsi.
Or Monitor Helen.
The kindergartners are raping each other.
And my personal favorite, Angry Office.
I'm making copies. Move, I'm gay.
Our next character is Moxie, who is voiced by Richard Horvitz. Yes, that Richard who voiced...
Ms. Bitters, I have a mighty need to use the restroom once again.
Isn't that cool? They got him to do the show. I think that's amazing. Next up, we have Millie, Moxie's wife, and Luna, Blitzo's adopted daughter, who are both voiced by Erica Linebeck, who played characters such as Emery Blight from The Owl House.
Makes sense. She seems too cool for you.
And Black Cat from Spider-Man PS4.
You look good.
She also voiced some characters in Cyberpunk 2077, but I've tried recording this part 6 times and I keep messing up the names, so I'm just gonna list them here. Anyway, after we're introduced to all the characters, we then get this, scene where they're all arguing about the job, how to get more customers, and then bring up the jingle that their boss made. And I think it's pretty fucking catchy.
When you want somebody gone and you don't want to wait too long, call the immediate murder professionals. Hand grenade or cyanide will make it look like suicide. The immediate murder professionals. We do our job so well because we come straight up from hell. We'll kill your husband or your wife, we'll even let you keep the knife. We're the immediate murder professionals. Kids die for free.
After that, it's just them fighting with each other, flashbacks to past conversations, shit like this.
Hello, IMP.
I got stabbed. Go look.
We then get taken back to the prison, and they're just still talking about work, then they just kill this kid. And that's basically the pilot, but I recommend you go watch it.
Give a hand to Captain Jackoff over here. He managed to do a shit rundown of the pilot. Now who wants to bet he's gonna fuck up the rest of the video?
A full year later, we finally got the first episode of Helluva Boss, and we got one hell of a start. We get to watch this kind, sweet teacher go on a good old-fashioned murder spree as she found out her husband was cheating on her. The teacher then hires IMP. Yes, that's the company's name. She hires them to kill this family. This loving, sweet, innocent, murderous, crazy family. Our favorite names then get hunted, shot, hit, and stabbed. Anyway, Moxie teaches the family a lesson.
I will call your earthly authorities, and they will make sure you are dealt with fairly. I'm handling this my way.
And then the family just gets blown up. Our imps then go back to hell and they celebrate and the credits just roll. Episode 1 was a good start to the show and I hope the show runs for a couple of seasons. Everything was pretty solid, animation was clean, background design is always amazing in this show. Some of the jokes didn't land for me, but that's fine. If I had an issue with the episode, it would be when this happens. It's not just in this show actually, it happens in a lot of animated series, but yeah, it shows me that the animators are lazy,
Really? You're calling them lazy? This coming from the guy that takes a week to put out a new video about which 2D girls' titties are the best.
Anyway, I get to talk about my favorite episode, episode 2. This episode is just delicious. Why did I say delicious? Episode 2 opens up by introducing us to the daughter of Stolich. The horny bird who rides this guy like he's a runaway train. We then get this sweet scene of him comforting his daughter as she's just had a nightmare. Then we get something so beautiful, so visually stunning that every time it happens, it fills me with this weird emotion that I can't put into words. What am I talking about that makes me feel this way? Well, I'm talking about the first actual song we get in the series besides the pilot advert song and the little jingle the teacher does at the start of episode 1. I didn't cover that just because I didn't think it was that important. This song is one of the many reasons as to why this episode is my personal favorite. If I can get away with showing any bit of the music section, it would have to be this part. And when creation goes to die, you can find me in After we get that calm, heartwarming scene, we are then hit with a jump cut to the complete fucking opposite. His daughter is all grown up, her parents are fighting in the background, and we just basically watch this once loving family crash and burn like it's the end of the fucking world. After his wife storms out yelling, Stolz decides that it would be a fun idea to take his daughter to a place she loved as a child. So, Stolz tells her he's going to need to hire some bodyguards because
we're rich and we're hot. People want our money and our bodies.
So he calls up our favourite little imps. That's right, he calls up I Am P. We then get this little section that I still find funny to this day.
What?
Why, hello, my big dick Blitzy.
What? Fuck!
Dad!
Language, everyone.
Anyway, some unimportant stuff happens and then we arrive at Lulu World. Fuck, I mean Lulu Land to avoid copyright. The happiest place in all the 9 realms, I mean 7 rings. There's a few jokes thrown in here and there when they're walking around. Not much is going on story-wise, but we do get this nice bit of music. Fuck, nice bit of music with Stolas, Blitzo, and Octavia. After that, we got this shot of the circus where Stolz would take his daughter to all the time. He thought she was crying such tears of joy when she was there, but no, she was just terrified of this fucker. As it turns out, our favourite bird banger used to work there as a clown. Then we get this nice little in-sync moment between these two.
I hate that fucking clown.
They enter the circus and we're hit with another musical number, but this time it's sang by Alex Brightman. Musical fans will recognise his name, but the people who don't know him, he played Beetlejuice in the Beetlejuice musical. You know what? Fuck it. Roll the entire musical clip for this part, or just roll as much as we can get away with.
Lululand, Lululand, everybody sing along with the Lulu band. Every boy, every girl, every woman, every man loves Lululand. Lululand, Lululand, everything is beautiful in Lululand. Ugly children holding hands in Lululand. Everybody's friendly and nobody is mean. No copyright infringements ever seen. I have a dream. I'm here to tell about a magical, fantastic place called Lululand.
Whilst this is going on, Moxie and Millie are actually on a little date, but nothing really important happens, so I'm just going to skip over that. We then get this really emotional scene between Octavia and Stolas, where Octavia talks about how she feels about the whole divorce situation and how she's worried that her dad's just going to leave her and just run away with Blitzo. Stolas tells his daughter that he doesn't know how to put into words with how he feels about the entire situation as well, but he reassures that he's never going to leave her no matter what. Stolas finally agrees that his daughter is too old for this place and takes her away. The episode ends with the two of them safe and sound outside the park whilst our imps are just, yeah. All in all, episode 2 was just amazing. Great story, good jokes, amazing music, beautiful background design, stunning visual effects, and amazing animation. Episode 2 is also guilty of the overlapping animation lines, but yeah, I'm not gonna point that out anymore because it's just like, it's in every episode, so just not gonna bother pointing out anymore.
You know, with how much you talked about these episodes in Stolas, it sounds like he's your favorite character. Are you a big old bird fucker like me?
Anyway, on to episode 3. Episode 3 is one of the more lore-heavy episodes in my opinion, and that is why it's my favourite episode. Well, second favourite. It introduces us to the character Veroska, who is an ex of Blitzo's, who is also a pop star, who is also working next door to him, but only for about a week. When they first introduce us to her, we get this little argument between them about why they broke up.
Aw, you mad, Blitzo? You gonna run off, leaving someone else to pay for the hotel room, steal their car, and run 3 rings to Rap and max my credit cards on shitty horse riding lessons?
God damn it, whore, you will not let that go.
Anyway, she takes their parking spot, so Blitz decides he's going to have a word with her. But first, we get to watch Moxie embarrass himself like usual.
I don't really listen to what's classified as pop genre music.
Blitz makes a bet with her that if they can kill more than they can fuck, then they get their parking spot back. After that, we get this little mini montage of them going on a killing spree. After all the partying and sex, we do get this little scene where these two have an argument about adoption and how Luna doesn't like to be treated like a child. During the rest of the episode, we get the big fish, drunk Moxie, and a pegging scene. Well, it's a scene about pegging.
I love that woman.
Oh, she totally pegs you, doesn't she?
The episode ends with our favourite imps winning the bet, and then the succubuses saying this for their final line, which is...
Alright, sluts, get ready to suck a lot of pig dick.
Episode 3 has some issues with like how animation gets a little choppy in some places, but I have to say the giant fish fight is very visually amazing and just looks... Look at this big glowy boy, he's amazing. Anyway, cue the transition to episode 4.
Really? That was what we are using?
I got lazy, script writing's tiring.
It wouldn't be tiring if you stopped playing Minecraft until 4 a.m.
But like, it has these cool plugins that...
Yeah, do you really think the viewer cares about it?
Episode 4 comes out and we are hit with a complete reverse of IMP. That's right, we've got angels who work for a company called Cherub? A good way to remember the name is with this little tune that goes with it.
Well, luckily for you,
There's something we can do.
we can help keep them alive so you can watch them thrive. 'Cause here at THG-RUB.
Anyway, the main plot for this one is this annoying fuck, this annoying old motherfucker, basically wants revenge on his old business partner. We then spend the episode getting this little competition between the demons and the angels, trying to get this old man to kill himself, trying to get him to not kill himself. It's a whole back and forth thing. First, they talk about how, you know, he can use all his money to build hospitals, but he's like,
No.
They then try to convince him to stay alive thanks to the power and beauty of nature. The next attempt is with the power of childhood wonderment. At first he has hope, but then he is shown who Santa really is. On their fourth try, they tried to convince him to not pull the plug by holding out for love, with the promise one day you will find someone who loves you. I think the lovers section is my favorite section of this entire episode just because of this scene.
Oh, and you three are so superior to us just because we want some selfish, greedy, authoritarian capitalist to keel over dead.
You're making things too real now, Moxie.
With the angels on their last leg, or wing, they try to use the power of art and music by taking him to the opera. The imps fuck up the opera and we get this really animated action scene. Just look at this. This shit is so fucking good. Anyway, the angels kill the old man by mistake. He goes to hell and meets his friend. They get hired by this fucker, and that's about it. Oh, and we'll get this scene where the angels get rejected from heaven.
Yeah, no sorry, Cletus, but I'm afraid your actions resulted in the death of a human. I'm afraid you can't re-enter heaven. Yeah, no.
Episode 4 has some of the worst and best animation in it. It goes from really smooth animation to...
Up in frames faster than this video got dislikes.
Let's just move on to the next episode. You know, I have to rewatch every episode of this show, and rewatching episode 5 is the worst fucking thing I've had to do so far. It's poorly animated, it's cringy as fuck, and well, that's only for the start of the episode, actually. The episode is mostly about Moxie trying to earn the respect of Millie's parents because everyone thinks he's a little piss baby because, well, he is one. Moxie decides that to prove himself, he'll compete in the Harvest Festival games, and he just gets absolutely dominated. I have no word to use without making this sound sexual. He just loses. Plain and boring, he just loses, whilst his boss Blitz and Millie's parents, farm helper, striker, and neck, chest to chest, dick to dick, as they are joint for first place. Anyway, after the games are over, they all head back to Millie's parents' farm to do some packing and some other shit, but Moxie's upstairs. Why? Because the writers need the story to progress somehow. So we find out that this double-crossing dickbag is trying to off Blitzo's easiest ticket to Earth. Moxie tries to beat him, but gets his ass handed to him, so Millie comes in, and like the crazy bitch she is, she just starts stabbing the ever-living fuck out of him. He then beats both of them and puts them both in a basement. We get this little heart-to-heart moment with Millie and Moxie where he talks about he isn't strong enough, but Millie is like, you're good with other things, and then we get this little comedic scene.
I'm not strong enough.
Not with your hands, baby. Use what you're good at.
I'm not good with my hands? Oh, right.
Anyway, Blitzo and Moxie fight him, they lose, he escapes, Moxie makes progress with Millie's parents, and we find out that this guy was hired by Stolas' wife. Yep, his own wife wants to fucking kill him. And that is episode 5. An okay episode, but the animation gets shit here and there, but it's understandable. Animation is hard and time consuming, plus most of the effort went into these scenes.
Hey, Striker!
Well, howdy.
God, I hate that sexy snake bitch.
Episode 6 starts off with a small little montage of basically everything that has happened over the past few episodes, or well, more like key snippets. Anyway, these two buttheads make it their mission to hunt down our favorite team of issues, because let's face it, they all have a lot of them, especially Blitz. With the power of convenience, Blitz, Moxie, Millie, and Luna are actually in the alleyway by the human hideout. What follows next is capturing Blitz, Moxie, whilst Millie and Luna actually escape. I gotta say, the funniest thing about this episode is just how Moxie screws with them. Like, just take a look at these two scenes.
I mean, everyone gets coffee in shitty movies with scenes like this, am I right? I want something iced, bitch, Mox.
I'll have a Neapolitan cappuccino, more cappa than chino. Make sure it's got no more than 4 ounces of milk. The beans won't have the right texture otherwise. And make sure they spell my name correctly on the cup. They always put Foxy or Roxy. I hate that. If you can't handle that, I'll have a venti traditional misto. Please use soy milk with 2 blonde shots, affogato, and ristretto. I'd also love 3 vanilla pumps at the very bottom, then add the coffee after.
Moxie is probably the best part of this entire episode. He has jokes, he just bullies these two. The shot changes to these two being hit with truth serum, and we get this godsend of a scene.
Does Millie ever peg you?
Sometimes.
We then get a bizarre musical number between Moxie and Trip Blitzo. The music isn't terrible, just personally I'm not a fan of it. After a bit of fun with Moxie tripping balls, we get to see Blitzo get insulted by a Moxie that has the same animation quality as the work I submit to my teachers. Each musical number between them is actually a lore dump and a huge character arc, as each one learns that they need to be a better person and change who they are. Blitzo learns that he cannot fathom proper intimacy, whatever the fuck that means, but he also craves it. Moxie learns through this balls of a trip that he needs to be more open and stop being so closed off when it comes to everyone, and that he needs to be better at speaking his mind. The next big thing that happens in this episode is this huge, and I mean huge, animated action sequence that is some of the best animation I have seen in this show so far. It is so energetic and it flows amazingly. The animation doesn't seem to drop in quality. It stays at this nice consistent quality that makes it look way better than any other section they have made. After that intense action sequence, we are then hit with probably the scariest thing in this show. Well, okay, it's not like scary or jump scare scary, it's more creepy. We finally get to see what a real demon looks like.
What's the matter, demon hunter? Never seen a real demon before.
The entire sequence is just icing on the cake. It truly shows what Stolas is capable of.
How did you know that we needed help?
I have my ways, darling. Are you all right?
Ugh, I'm fine, Stolas.
Good. Am I going to get any thank you for the rescue, Blitzy?
Well, I suppose you should. Want me to fuck your brains out tonight?
Very much so.
All right, but you're keeping quiet or I'm using those bear traps.
Oh, please do.
And that is the end of the Helluva Boss review, and I guess recap of everything from the pilot to episode 6.
Bitch, the only thing you can recap are the 12 meals you eat per hour, you fat lazy fuck. Alright, now that that loser is out of here, why don't you do a favor for me and hit that subscribe button? I mean, come on, let's face it, I was the best part of this entire video.